La Indolencia de los Filipinos, also known in English as Indolence of the Filipino, was published in La Solidaridad on 1890. This essay explains the alleged idleness of the Filipino people during Spanish colonization. But before we elaborate each part of the essay, let us first discuss what may have caused the indolence of the Filipinos. Long before the coming of the Spaniards, Filipinos are industrious and hardworking. They cultivate their own land, they trade with other countries, in Asia or even in Middle East. They have small businesses and handicraft industries that flourished during pre-Spanish period. First, the establishment of the Manila-Acapulco galleon trade cut off all previous association of the Philippines with other countries. As a result, business was only conducted with Spain through Mexico. Second, Spain also extinguished the natives' love of work because of the implementation of forced labor. The Filipinos were compelled to work in shipyards, roads, and other public works, abandoning agriculture, industry, and commerce. Third, Spain did not protect the people against foreign invaders and pirates. With no arms to defend themselves, the natives were killed, their houses burned, and their lands destroyed. Fourth, there was a crooked system of education. If it was to be considered an education, what was being taught in schools were repetitive prayers and other things that could not be used by the student to lead the country to progress. Fifth, the Spanish rulers were a bad example to despise manual labor. The officials reported to work at noon and left early, all the while doing nothing in line with their duties. Sixth, gambling was established and widely propagated during those times. Seventh, the taxes were extremely high, so much so that a huge portion of what they earned went to the government or to the friars. And lastly, there was a crooked system of religion. The friars taught the naive Filipinos that it was easier for a poor man to enter heaven, and so they preferred not to work and remain poor so that they could easily enter heaven after they died. Past writings on indolence revolve only on either denying or affirming and never studying its causes in depth. Filipinos cannot be compared to Europeans who live in cold countries and who must exert much more effort at work. An hour's work under the Philippine sun, he says, is equivalent to a day's work in temperate regions. Now, let us present a situation. A poor clerk who comes in at 8 in the morning and leaves in the afternoon, who copies and writes and works for the chief, and a chief who comes in at 10 in the morning and leaves before 12, read his newspaper while smoking or gossiping about all his friends. Now the question is, who is indolent? The second part of the essay is the analogy of physician as the prior or Spanish government, patient as the Philippines, and illness as indolence. The attending physician attributes the entire failure of his skill to the poor constitution of the patient, to the climate, and to the surrounding. The patient attributes the aggravation of the evil to the system of treatment followed. Instead of seeking the causes, devotes themselves to attacking the symptoms. Every new arrival proposes new remedy, and that is seasons of prayer, relics of saints, and viaticum. Filipinos cultivated their own land, trade with other countries, and do crafting. But how is it that the Filipino people, so fond of its customs, has given up its ancient habit of work, and even to the extent of completely forgetting?
Created using Powtoon.